Yeah, I know I said that was the last video. I might upload this the next day later. But when I was talking about how Tekky Toys' quality has improved, I also forgot to mention the Attack Spider because that one looks like it's very good quality this year too. Um, Attack Spider is actually designed just like the pop-up zombie, but with less sprain force, which I think I've mentioned that in one of these videos before. I don't know which one, but one of these videos. It's just the mechanism is tilted. And it's designed well. Ours is working fine, and it scares quite a few people. And it's a great prop. I think the only problem with it is being $100. Meanwhile, the jumping spider is bigger, and Spirit always has that great deal, $50, but original price $80. I'm not, and the attack spider is smaller. Like when I saw the attack spider, I thought it was kind of a newer version of the Tekky Toys' giant jumping spider in 2012, but it's a good unique idea, and yeah, but it's a good quality prop, I think, anyways. But now the jumping spiders, they don't seem like they jump as fast as they did a couple years ago. 2011, they jumped the fastest. Like they jumped really fast. I kind of got a bad one in 2011. Mine jumped kind of slow, and mine was built wrong because mine was actually smaller. It like even when it is fully jumped up, it's lower to the floor than it should have been. So there was a measurement error there or something. I don't know. But I know I was definitely able to notice that mine was smaller and it didn't jump as fast. But all the other videos I watched of Spirit Halloween 2011, that spider jumped really fast. And remember, they there was actually a little bit of an error with it because it remember how it jumped before the audio started up? Well, of course, the next year later in 2012, they were actually some of them were mounted on crooked. Remember that was an error, but that's but these spiders have been the same since 2012. 2011 is the one that has really been different. But remember, 2011 and 2012 spiders have the old foot pad jacks. The harnesses for the foot pads, not the jacks. 2013 they had the jacks, not the harnesses. But later they jump, and the soundtrack and the jumping happens at the same time. But sometimes actually the jumping is delayed. The sound starts first and then they jump. But the first model made, they would jump before the soundtrack started, which was cool because it caught people off guard, and that made people scream more. Trust me, I remember. I really missed the 2011 jumping spiders. I wish they would remake the spider like that. I don't even know what they did different. I think they just had stronger springs back then. They might have been a little bit. The poles must have been a little bit different sizes to make them jump faster. They must be a little heavier now. But the 2015 jumping spiders, I noticed, are definitely not as fast as spiders from previous years. I can tell. I set up that black jumping spider, and I just thought the springs were weak, because I just noticed it just didn't jump as fast anymore. And I thought maybe that's why it's not selling as fast this year, because our black one just isn't jumping as fast, and people think it's too slow. So I set up the brown one. It doesn't jump that much faster. So two spiders, the springs aren't as strong this year for them. They're still fast enough though. They're so fast. It's not like they're really slow. I mean, they're still good, but they've been faster, and I've just noticed they're not as fast this year. And I'm almost wondering, this is the 5th season that they've been in Spirit Halloween. I'm wondering, when is the last season going to be? I'm starting to think that if they're not, because we haven't really sold as many this year. Like, I think we've sold 1 jumping spider so far this year. And usually by now we've sold like 6 or 8 or more than that. But this year, this might be its last year. But we'll see. Because Jumping Snake wasn't around too long. He was only 1 season, and he was pretty defective. Quite a few people had issues with them. Like, a lot of those were mounted on crooked. I remember that. But the snake was cool, though. Jumping Dog was made too decent. He was good. I think he is discontinued now, too. I don't know if he's still on Spirit's website. I know the Jumping Rat, Jumping Critter is not available anymore. He was alright, but he wasn't a favorite. But he's still a prop that could be missed for a little bit. Jumping Bug, he was alright. He was the slowest jumping one because he was cardboard. Well, no, not cardboard. Some type of cheap plastic, but it added a lot of weight to the jumping mechanism, so it jumped a lot slower than the other jumpers. Jumping Zombie was a really good one, but I kind of wonder why they never made him more than once. 2012, we only had 3 of them. That's it. Just 3. And I got 2 of them. The store display, which is now broken, and the one I got that I recently fixed the relay switch on, using the broken store display one because the pole snapped, So, and I guess the main deal is because he was $120, but still, he was a good one. I'm not sure why then they made the Lunging Zombie and the Lunging Mad Dog. That was made by Seasonal Visions, I believe. Those were good, but those weren't at Spirit. I wish they were, but yeah, Jumping in 2012 was actually, I think, was the most disappointing year at Spirit, I think. It has nothing to do with the way the props were. It was the quantity of the props. We only had 3 wolf spitters. We set one up on store display, so then we only had 1. And then another one came in, which is the one that I got that did not spit, and they sold the store display one later on, of course, because they eventually sell them. We had maybe 3 or 4 limb rippers. That's it. We had 3 howlers. The one I got the store display, but remember I gave that to someone else this past summer, and then another one. That was it. Just 3. We had 3 of everything. Only 3. That year was just, I did not like 2012. We had like maybe 4 death throws, not even. 3 headbanger zombies. Literally 3 of everything. 3 swinging zombie girls. That was the first time she was ever made with the socks and the bruises on her face, or makeup, whatever it is. Bruises or makeup. I don't know. And then the next year she didn't have shoes or makeup, bruises. Oh, and the first model of the swinging zombie girl, her head was rubber. The later model was plastic. And we only had 3 of her. We only had 3 of the Walking Dead zombie girls. We had 3 of everything. It was like, really? That was the worst year for animatronics. Because 2013 we had a little bit more, but the quantity was still a little low that year. This year it was much better, and I think last year was much better. And 2014 was okay, but then again, most of 2014's props didn't work because we had a lot of returns that year and a lot of non-working store displays. A lot of the animatronics, like, again, Broken Spine Girl, I had to set a second one up after the first one broke. Pop-Up Zombie, set up a second one after that one broke, and they broke again. But again, 2012 was a really bad year just because we didn't have any animatronics to sell to people, really. 2011 and 2010, I didn't work at Spirit, but their quantity was still a little bit better than that, though. I think they maybe had 2 or 3 zombie bills in 2010, and that was it, but 2012 was literally 3 of everything. It's like, they gotta send more than that, and they have been, which is good. I don't want them to ever send that low of quantity of stuff ever again, because it was just bad. I think we had like 4 or 6 Ghost Girls that year. That was probably the prop we had the most of. We had 4 Rising Reagans. None of those sold that year. None of the Wicked Witch of the West sold that year. The store owner took them to a different location the next year. They would have still been there in 2013, but no one bought them, so the store owner took them to a different location. But yeah, 2012, there was a low quantity. There was only 3 popping goblins, and I got them all.